How you doing, Chris?
How are we doing tonight, Pete?
Very good.
Oh, not too bad. Well, I was listening to the minister there regarding the caribou herd there in Labrador.
Yeah.
How they're going to shut everything down there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do that come into effect with outfitters?
Oh, yes, they've stopped the outfitters already. That was last year before or something.
Okay.
That's gone. The only hunting that's been going on recently is the Innu Nation, the other groups, the Nunatsiavut and the Nunatuhavut. They have agreed to not hunt, even though there wasn't a ban, and the Innu Nation were the only people, as far as I know, doing any hunting, and now they won't be able to either. And anybody from Quebec or another province won't be able to come in either.
Well, that was the biggest problem there, was that a lot of the people were coming out of Quebec and destroying the caribou, and then they were blamed on the Inuit and the Métis there in Labrador.
I don't know if that's the biggest problem. There's a lot of unknown factors, but certainly there's one thing, if we know for sure, if you're shooting caribou, then you're certainly decreasing their numbers, and the herd is at such a point now that you just can't have that going on.
Well, like I say, what's got to be done is what they do out around west, like in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and BC, is that they farm them just like if you're farming, and they're still generating the population.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you think now that everyone's going to sit back now and basically not go and hunt for their livelihood?
Well, they're in for some trouble if they do. Now, they say that if the caribou go into Quebec and Quebec doesn't come up with a ban, then, of course, they can be shot in Quebec legally by the Innu there, right?
Well, like you say, they're already trying to shut the Inuit people from their livelihoods anyway. They've got a thing on the go down in the States regarding the polar bears and the seals, that they should be protected. But
yeah.
You got polar bears that are coming here right on the island here in St. Anthony.
The polar bears, that's a controversial thing, there's no question, because they're losing their habitat, of course, and they're having a very difficult time sustaining their numbers up north where they can't hunt the seals. The ice is just not there long enough, not of the same quality, etc. But seals, I think pretty much everywhere people accept that Aboriginal peoples will continue to hunt seals, because that was never a real strain on the population. And of course, for the most part, the seal populations are in pretty good shape anyway. Yeah,
well, like you say, same with the sealing industry. It should be up to the people of Newfoundland and Labrador whether you're going to go sealing or not. There shouldn't be no qualms when it comes to the federal government on that issue.
The federal government hasn't had any issue with us continuing the seal hunt. Like
I say, they deal with it out around Alberta and BC and them places, like with their elk farms and their buffalo farms. Yeah, I don't know how Caribou would do, if it would work or not. I suppose that's a notion that certainly, if they haven't thought of it or investigated it, they probably will if the numbers continue to shrink like they have been. Well, that's the same with their buffalo and that. Like they do. Yeah. The buffalo roam free, but they only take a percentage of the buffalo. Like they still keep up the herds, but they don't destroy the herd. Yeah. And I think if they could do that in Labrador, it'd be a lot better, because what Inuit person can actually go into a corner store or into a supermarket and pay $20 for a steak? Mm-hmm. Or any kind of meat, they can't afford it. Like that's their livelihood. They're not working people. They work to survive. Yeah, and that's basically what it is. Same as a merchant was years ago. Mm-hmm. Merchant sell their products and they get back in certain products. Yeah. No, I know, and that's why perhaps. That's why Simeon Jakovic is talking about compensating, but I don't. The answer is not to continue hunting. Obviously, if the herd is disappearing rapidly, you have to stop the hunting and then worry about what you do, as a substitute for the meat you're. Well, there's got to be some kind of compensation there, because if that's their only livelihood is moose and caribou, and. Usually those Inuit places, if you get a caribou or a moose, they share between the whole bands. And like, there's got to be more into this here, because I think what's going to happen is going to cause a more bigger problem down the road. Because what's going to happen now, you get the Métis and these other groups are going to sit back and forget about hunting, and you got the Inuit that's against it. So who's to say now these Métis people are not going to go out and slaughter caribou?
Well, they've already been, but they've agreed that the herd is such that a ban is necessary.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter. Like if just because I'm Métis or Inuit, that's their livelihood. And if you can't afford to go to the grocery store and get a roast or a turkey,
yeah. Well, all I can say is that the law has been passed and there is a ban, and anybody who hunts while the ban is on is going to be prosecuted if they're caught at it.
Well, like you say, if the government needs to look into basically what I was saying, what they do out west is harvest a certain amount of caribou, and the population is going to grow because you got a certain amount of animals into a protected area. Nobody can't go in and hunt there, but you can harvest a few animals.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure before they disappear altogether, they're hoping that if you stop the hunting and give them a chance and give the land a chance to recover, as the minister says. But of course, the problem is they don't understand all the factors at work. And if they continue to decline and look like they're not going to turn around, as he says they did in the 60s, I didn't realize that they had gone down to what he said was 5,000 or 6,000 animals in the 60s and came back. And it's a cycle, it's a 70-year cycle or something. If that's the case, then fine, let that happen. And then you can, return to the hunting when the numbers dictate. But in the meantime, I think the main thing, the important thing, is to try to let every animal survive and give the herd an opportunity to recover, because it's just it's such a steep dive now that it's not unthinkable that it could just disappear and we have another extinct species, and then that's not serving anybody.
Well, like you say, when the Alberta meat packers that are there in Gibbons, right across the road, you've got a man there that got the elk, you got the buffalo.
I would imagine that's something that takes a few years to sort out and get going. But yes,
well, it's a lot better than shutting it down completely, and people are doing without meat to survive.
Yeah, I'm sure that option will be explored, certainly if it's a plausible one, and I don't know.
Yeah, because if they can't survive without caribou, how are they going to survive when they're not allowed to do it?
Yeah.
Because they got nothing.
Well,
caribou and their seal meat and their moose.
That's up for debate. But in any event, we can't.
The government looks more into farming it rather than shutting it down completely, because
certainly something I could ask the minister next time we're talking to him. Chris, I'm going to move along. We're going to try to squeeze in one more caller before the last break. I appreciate your call tonight.
Okay, my friend. Have a good night.
You too. All the best.
Bye.